the Maamar from the Rebbe from Tafshin Chaf 1950, and let me just bring up the text. We're holding, I believe, in the middle of Sif Zayin, the Daled. But hold on, let's bring up the original text here. Okay, so the Rebbe says like this. You're holding at the end of Daled. So just a little recap. So we're holding in the Maamar is again the Maamar is going into the pasuk in the Avodah Hashem Oiri. It talks about Maamar Livi Bakshapani Es Hashem Espenech Hashem Avakish. So it says the Maamar Livi he quotes. So he quotes the Maamar Livi Bakshapani. That Lacha is two explanations. One is on your behalf and in your place, meaning to say as so the heart is talking on its own behalf to seek out the essence of the heart, or on the shlichus of Hashem. The heart says, "Bakshu panei, seek me out." And there's two explanations of bakshu. Is it a bakasha of a quest or a bakasha of seeking? So is it something to say that like a pleading, or tchina, bakasha tchina, or bakasha chipus? And panei also, he goes into, is it what level of panei does it mean? And it says with the heart, for instance, and bitoch the heart, in the heart or with the heart. And we go on to explain. We went to that to understand our understand Hashem. We have to look in and examine ourselves. And then we went in to explain the Maggid's explanation. And to put it all together, we're holding Sif Gimel starts. To put it all together, he says we have to start by explaining that the idea of tefillah is talking about there's oilamas, neshamas, and elikus, is how the tefillah relates to things within the world, things within the soul, within the person, so to say, and things within godliness. And then it says that on each one of those three levels of world, the person, the soul, so to say, and elikus. So there's also, this is two stages. There's, for instance, when you say Bakshu Panai, when we're talking about Oilamos, there's Chetzainus Oilamas and there's Pnimis Oilamas. There's the way we see the world, what's the innermost depth of the concept of the world. And what he explains is that's beyond the four worlds of Atzilus, Bri, Yitzia, Asiya. And that's what we would call the Kesed, the Atik and Arich. So say the tanig, the pleasure that God has in why He created the world. Then you have, we said, there's the two levels of neshamas. There's what we would call the neshama that's the essence of the soul, and so to say the neshama, the way it's going to the way it goes in to give chayas within the process of the soul being active in the world. Like for instance, the idea of the ha'ara of the world of Atzilus that goes into the world of Bria and Yitzira and Asiya. And what he calls that the essence of the lev, the pnimis lev, and the nekudus ha'aras lev. So the neshama is what we're talking about, is the lev over here. So we're saying there's the essence of who the soul is, and then there's the manifestation, so to say, the aura of how the soul functions, so to say. Like Atzilus gives life into the world of Bria. In that separation, there's a ha'ara, there's a light of the world of Atzilus, which is absolute godliness. And now we're going to start with the third level, which is to understand the two levels of elikus. It says like this: so too applies with the innermost of how we understand godliness. Within the pnimis, the essence of elikus, there's two levels. You know, there's two names of Hashem. The name of Havaya Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is Hashem is a creator, and Zelikim, how God conceals Himself within creation. That's why Elikim is plural, because it's in the world of the Olam HaPiru, the Olam of separation. It says the Elikim hu chsenis v'avayu pnimis. In general, the Elikim is the external, and Avaya, so to say, Elikim is the way, for instance, Teva is Elikim, the way nature the way Hashem functions in the world, the way nature seems to give an impression of its own life and its own system of life. That's Elokim, so that's Chitzonis. And the innermost, and it's not just the Chitzonis, the fact that Elokim allows for itself, that there's the godliness allows for itself to give off the impression that there is nature, is a concept of Chitzonis, because that's not the real intention. The real intention is that that's a setting of oiliness, and the way Hashem functions in the world, gives that life in the world, is the Chitzonis, and Havaya is the primus. What's the real intention? She goes, we can explain this on the Kutei Torah this past week, which is Kiseitze. The love that a person has that is coming from the external of the heart. And she said before, which is like the chitzonis of the neshama, is what impresses it is the hisbonenus, the contemplation that you have in Aram HaMalach. When you look at the Marav Masach, Magadol Masach, how Hashem created the world, and seeing the creation, the God's hand in creation, so that gives a person the Avos Hashem, love of Hashem. So, but something that you could relate to. That's chitzonis. So it's chitzonis of Hashem, and it's chitzonis of the person. The chitzonis of the person, so to say, the neshama connects to the chitzonis of Hashem, and therefore there's a reaction to it. Because in the chitzonis of the person, the world matters. So when the chitzonis of the person, so to say, the chitzonis of the heart, understands that there's a greatness in creation, and because he or she is in that world, so that you respond to that. But when a person has a response of love, a yearning of the heart that's beyond logic, it's not because you understand. Where the depth of the heart, not the chitzon, the depth, the pnimis of the lev, that gets strong, that gets connected to the light of Sover. So because within Hashem there's the chitzonis, which is, so to say, Elokim, which is the Mali, the way Hashem fills the world. Man Hashem, which is like a soul, which has different functionalities of listening, of hearing and seeing and functioning, and the mechanical abilities, walking, talking. That's all broken down within the soul, and the body gets its source. Each part of the body functions based on the functionality of the soul. So that's the way Hashem functions in the world. Also, is Memalik Olam. And that's Elokim. And Havaya is Soviv, is encompassing energy. That's beyond the details. It's not broken up. It's Hashem Echad. L'chein, or HaMalikim Chitzonis. Everything about Elokim, which is the way Hashem fills the world, that's all Chitzonis. It's not just, again, it's not just the Chitzonis it's a Chitzonis in why there's in why there's Mimalik Olam. Malik Olam is there's no intention of Mimalik Olam is the setting of the world for the pnimis of Hashem's Ratzin to be actualized. Is who shorish the Avich Chitzonis Alev. And therefore, again, you respond to that. The Chitzonis Alev, the external of the heart responds to that. Vara Seviv Havaya, which is pnimis, and because Havaya and the external light, which is Havaya is Soviv, is the real intention, and therefore it's a shayrish to the Av Pnimis Alev, because the Pnimis Alev doesn't get affected by the Chitzonis. It doesn't matter to it. So it reaches to the deeper intention of creation over the God's expression within creation, which is the Soviv. The Pirush Penecha Havaya Hu Ha'etzem. So when it says that V'chol Melivi Bakshapani Penecha Havaya, what does it mean? The Pnimis of Havaya. Like we said before, that there's the Atzilus in Oilimus, or in the Neshama, there's the level we call Atzilus and the Maamar Atzilus, or Atzilus, and the way Atzilus gives life to Bria, the world of creation. So too there's a Havaya that gives life to Elikim, so to say. So, but then the idea of Penecha Havaya, that God says, seek out the essence of Havaya, is not Hashem, that the way it's a Panemius or it's an aura that gives life to Elikim. But it's the etzem of Havaya, which is even higher than being Mislavish Elikim. There's the Havaya within the Elikim. Means there's the Panemius, there's like the intention of why there's a creation, while there's creation, while there's that separation. That separation, again, it's because Chitzonis can exist on its own. The Pnimis just needs the Chitzonis, so to say, needs it because it desires to have it. That there should be that setting, So that's a Havaya. The Havaya is giving life to Elikim. But there's a Havaya that's beyond any kind of Elikim, any kind of separation. And Hashem is saying that's Penecha Havaya. Penecha Havaya is what you should seek out. The Chomer Libi, that Penecha Havaya. We're starting to get a framework of the pasuk up here, where we have the Chomer Libi, who's talking, who in the Chomer Libi is the Chom. So it's the message is coming on behalf of whom? Is it coming on behalf of as I sort of say, B'shlichuscha? There's a message going on over here, or that the Chom means me myself. And the bakasha also, like we said before, you have you're seeking something, or there's a tchina, there's a prayer within yourself, and then there's the bitocha leiv, with and in the leiv, and imal with the leiv and bitocha leiv. With the leiv means you're using the heart for something, or is the leiv itself. So we have, when we talk about the panemius of everything, which is it's a panemius without a connection to chitzonius, it's an existence on its own. Hashem is saying, don't seek out, so to say, the process, but seek out the essence before the process. Let's continue. So we could say another about that. When we say Panach Havaya, what's the essence of Havaya? Ulemayla is even greater. Gami Havaya. Even then, from a vaya that's beyond even being clothing itself in Elikim. And he's going to explain. That Gam Shem Havaya, Shemaila Mislapshis, Be'Elikim, who Havaya Stam, Ve'emes Havaya, Hamitis Havaya, who Atzmis Arshev Shemaim Havaya. He says Havaya itself is hard the way that it's godliness within Elikim. Havayas, that's the Havayas stuff. That's just the creator. The creator beyond the separation. But the truth, Emes Havaya, is the essence of the infinite light that's even higher than the Havaya that's distant, that's separate from Elikim. Meaning, the Ma'ila Gam Havaya Shemal Mislap Shelikim. So what does this mean? It says, V'yuvens, I will understand this. Apia Yidua, what's known, that Penimisha called Davar, who are Davar Atzmi. What is the essence of everything? The thing itself. As long as the thing itself is you don't see the thing for itself on its own, but you see it as a process or part of something. It's not the essence of the thing. The essence of everything has to be the thing itself. If it's a source of something else, it's an external. Anytime that, for instance, the person even. In the person, we have a lot of parts within ourselves that's who we are, and then it's how we are to accomplish something. As long as you have the therefore, as long as you're using something for something else, it's not the essence of the thing itself. So this means, say, if a vaya is so that he could create that there should be a soviv. The Rebbe always says the Soviv Kolaman, that he's surrounding the world. It means there's a world, but it's surrounding it. It doesn't get broken up. It's not limited within the space of the world, but it's still, the world is the center point. It's surrounding the world. It's beyond the world. So it's for something else. So as long as there's something else involved, that's not the essence. The essence of a vaya is, it's not concerning to something else. It's not a mocker, the oilus. That's what Hashem says, it's Panecha Vaya Vakish. That's what you have to seek out. Not something that's beyond it has anything to do with you, which is it gets very complicated. There you have the persons in the world. There's a kavanah for the world. That's why you're there in the first place. And in all the details of that you're there, you're supposed to be seeking for something that's beyond your being there. Meaning to say, because if you're seeking out the essence of God, that why you're in the world, that's the way Hashem is the mocker to the world. A source to the world. But if you're going to be seeking out Hashem that's beyond any kind of source of the world, it's like a person who makes a setting for something, and then says, "But what I want you to see has nothing to do with I want you to find the part of me that has no interest in the fact that you're here in the first place." What does it mean Havai and the Oren Seif? the infinite light that's beyond Havaya. The Havaya Lashon Rahavad, by definition, God means the creator. We know the difference is that God doesn't invest himself to create. It happens automatically. Meaning to say, in order for the idea of Baruch Shamar V'Hayayim, the idea of Asar Maamaris, that's Elikim, Bereshis Bar Elikim. The 10 utterances came from Elikim. So it's B'derech Hislapshus, he had to enclothe himself, Bereshis Bar Elikim. V'Yishavas M'Shem Havaya Ba'Eivin Derech Mamela. Like it says, Yahalalu, Hashem Havaya, Yehud Siva V'Nivro. It happened on its own. It wasn't the investment, the Slapshus. So in general we say that's how we define as pnimis. Because so to say it's not a mocker because there's no slapshus. So it's just kihutziva b'nivro. He commanded and it came into being. So it's not, there's no clothing, so to say, there's no like effort. It just, so to say, came out of being, but there has to still be the kihutziva, right? The fact that it happens without a slapshus means to say that it's that he's beyond creation. So he doesn't have to invest, doesn't have to enclothe himself in order to create. He says the word makar mamish. You can't say, why does it say it's not an absolute makar? It should say it's not a makar at all, because you can't say it's not a makar at all, because it's the hutziva. Because it's siva, but the way it went from God commanding it to happen to happening was automatic. But nevertheless, in detail, he says, at the end of the day, that creation comes from the name of Havaya. You can't get away from the fact that he's the source of creation. So therefore, what can we say? What's real pnimis of the essence of Hashem? Beyond being a creator, because even however you want to define creation as a derech hamela without investment, and it happens on its own, that in slavish, that in clothing yourself, but you can't get away from the kihut tziva, and the tziva is the hisavas, the creation, and therefore at the end of the day it's a makar, although it's not a makar with the slapshus. So what is the pnimis havaya? The pnimis of havaya means is the havaya beyond being even the derech hamela of creation, the automatic of creation. It continues. From this we could say, this is where the Maamar is coming to. So when we talk about that, we want to say the person, the neshama within the person, where are we finding what's the leiv mean? So there's a pnimis leiv and chitzonius leiv. So the chitzonius leiv gets inspired by chitzonius, but the internal of the heart. It's the internal of the heart, but is it the internal of the heart with an agenda to do something? It's a makar, it's a source of something. Yes, it's beyond, but is it a source? Is it active? Is it trying to accomplish something? Or is it just a being on its own? Is it like the love, the connection that's just a connection, or you're trying to accomplish something? For instance, the example would be birur, to go out and engage in the world. That would be you're accomplishing something. Now, even if you're accomplishing something from above, because it's coming from a vaya pnimius, and you sort of see you're in control. It's less of an engagement or a machama of a war, but nevertheless, it's still you're doing something. You're changing something. You're using your pnimius to accomplish something. What does it mean that the ha'ara, the ray of the essence of the heart, is not, so to say, as internal as the essence of the heart itself? Means the manifestation of the essence of the heart, the fact that the essence of the heart is active, not just being, is hu kigam. The ha'ara, even before it's effective, that it goes into inspire, so to say, the external of the heart, which again, the external of the chitzanis leiv is everything chitzanis. It's the yeshus of the person. It's the chitzanis leiv it's not disconnected. When you talk to it, it has to understand, and therefore it gets inspired by creation because it's part of creation. The very fact that the ha'ara comes to elevate, that your chitzanis shouldn't be The externals that excite you shouldn't be the externals of the world, but should be within a godly agenda. The dir b'tachton, the mission in life should be, you should feel that in your chesed salev. But because the ha'ara, the ray, so to say, if the primus salev has to affect that in the chesed salev, it's doing something. Muchach, it's a sign. It's not the real pnimis, because it's the pnimis as a mocker to elevate the love of the chesed of the heart, of the external of the heart. Amitis inyan ha'pnimis hu ba'atzmis nekudas salev. If you want to know where's the S means, to say the ability that a person has to ignite the sinus of their heart, the external of the heart, that what seemingly is the wants of a person should be elevated in the higher purpose, the higher awareness, is because the person be'etzem, the pnimis of the person, the core of the person, that's what we were saying before, the pnimis of the neshama, the chomer libi, is like find your true self, because your true self is beyond any chitzaynis. But you have a chitzaynis, you have an external. So therefore, what we're trying to do is we're trying to elevate what your external wants are and your external loves are, is by revealing what your pneumius is. But that extent, that connection, that bridge between your pneumius alev to chitzaynis alev, that's what's called the nekudas ha'aras alev. That's the ha'ar of the nekudas alev. That your pneumius is talking l'chom alibi. That there's to go out there and talk to the chitzaynis alev. To elevate it, that shouldn't have a chitzonis to go on. The external wants should be elevated, that within those external wants they should feel the pneumius. But that bridge itself is not the essence of the heart, because it's trying to accomplish something. It recognizes the challenge of the chitzonis to live. So amit is in pneumius, but where's the real pneumius of the persons? It's the being of that essence within you. What we call the pneumius, atzmis pneumius alev. That's that essential connection the person has to Yid, not because therefore it's going to be able to elevate the other parts of the chesed life. It's just what it is. Just like we said that based on the teaching, the Magid of the Baal Shem Tov, that there's oilam, nefesh, and elikus. So the focus of the Maamar is really on the oilam and as on the nefesh and elikus. So just like the elikus, there's a havaya that's beyond being a soiviv kolam, havaya that's beyond the creator, beyond, so to say, hutziva v'nivro, beyond the Elokim. It's just havaya himself, the essence of God. So there's the essence of the Yid. And this goes back to explain now, how is it b'chlal shaychus, that if a person comes from if a person's within creation, how could he or she be expected to find the essence of Hashem if it's part of creation? Because there's a part of the person that's beyond, is also that is connected to that essence. The essence of Hashem is within every person. Which is atzmus and nekudas halev, that itself is connected to that atzmus of Hashem. And yes, it has to go through the process of finding it through chitonis halev. That's what we want to reveal. But it's possible because that's what's within you. I just go a little further. Rebbe says, okay, the Hoysif. The Rebbe says we could add. First of all, let's see. I think this is how Ha'aras that I wanted to learn. The Ha'ara of 35. We said before that Etzem of Havaya is higher than Havaya the way it is the Mokr to Alikim. It says in 35, in the Hemshech of Tafresh Samach Vav, of the Hemshech of the Maamar Tafresh Samach Vav. Well, the higher it says, Mashkasev Atuhu Achlei Nivrailam, right? Say that Hashem was before the creation. Atuhu Mishnah Nivrailam, he's there from the creation. Tachura Mikivan Shemaim Za'atzma. Aloshin Hu Nivra B'derech Mela. It just happened on its own. That's explained in the Kutei Torah. Mahu Achidish B'zeh Shahabriya Ein Eper L'Shini B'Yisbarach. If it's happening B'derech Mela, of course there should be no Shini in Hashem. Because it's B'derech Mela. Shini could only happen, a change could only happen when there's a slapshus. When you invest, when you enclothe yourself, you get affected. But if your being just makes that there's a creation automatically, so why do we have to say Ata actually Nivrailam and Ata Mish Nivrailam even after the creation? Use the same Ata, the same Eibishter, that there's no Shinui. Why would there be a shina? There was no slopshus, there was no clothing. Rabbi Yeruza. Like he says in the Pnim, the very fact that it's a mocker to something. So even though it happens b'derech l'meila, but the very fact that it's a mocker, it's still a chiddush that there's no shiner. The very fact that it's because it's the source of it, because it comes from it. Although it doesn't slavish in it, as long as it comes from the mocker, even if it's automatically, you would think that there has to be some sort of little bit of a change, because when you say my being just creates, but at the end of the day, it's your being, and this is the creation from your being, like this the tziva. That's why he answered that there is no shiner, but you have to say it. If not, it's not obvious otherwise. Because the creation only comes from, so to say, the label, the name of creator. But the label of creator, the shame itself is not the etzem. So there's a, so to say, there's a separation, and therefore the essence doesn't get changed by the creation, even if it's a mocker of creation. In 36, he says what we just done before, that that the Pnimis Alev, the way he gives life to the Chetzonis Alev, is only the Ha'or, it's not the essence of the heart. The heart, he says, he adds, when we're talking about the Ha'or, the ray, so to say, the manifestation of the essence of the heart, whom we are as Seivim. The fact that he says that the shirish of Benach Havaya is the shirish of the Ha'or's Nikud slave is the Soviv, where the shirish of the Benach where the shirish of Atzmis Nikud slave comes. That's only brought down through Torah mitzvahs. It says this, it means to say, we'll see in a second, that's a total separate process. It's not that there's a deeper within the extension, but it's something totally different. Torah mitzvahs is beyond the Elul, it's beyond the world. Okay? Let's just go a little further in Vav. It says like this, if we could add, this that we say that there's what's called the ha'ara, the ray, so to say, the manifestation of the heart with the purpose to ignite and to elevate the chitzonis of the heart. And then there's the essence of the heart. That they're, so to say, they're connected to what's called, like I said before, where's the person have a shaykhs? Because the pnimis halev is connected to the essence of Hashem. And the ha'ara of the leiv, of the pnimis halev, is connected to the way Hashem, Havaya is the creator, Seivim. We understand that based on the Torah, and the verse it says, when you go out to fight against your enemy, what is the battle? The battle is the godly soul fighting and elevating and engaging in the animal soul. Where is this war? Where is this war happening? In the strengths of the neshama, which are our intellect and our emotions. That where there's the battle is only trying to control the mind and the heart. But when the ha'ara, the manifestation of the essence of the heart, that's alevecha, you're stronger than any enemy, meaning to say, of the nefesh of the animal soul. The mailamevecha, there's no, the nefesh of the Bahamas has no connection to the manifestation of the essence of the heart. When that's revealed, then you have captives. Means you accomplish something. You're capturing, you're changing. That you transform the bad because you're over your enemy to good. But what have you captured? You haven't changed the character of the Nefesh Bahamas. You change the functionality, how it's going to function in the thought, speech, and action. that anything you think and anything you speak and anything you do is only going to be according to the nefesh shalikis. But you haven't changed the character. You only were able to change the levushim, which are called machshav dirmais, like it says in Shtani Perek Dal, chapter 4. And how do you actually transform that the animal himself is no longer that character? Then you have to, it's not enough to use the manifestation of the essence of the heart, but the essence of the heart itself has to be revealed, and that automatically brings that there's no more of the nefesh of Hams. Meaning to say the nefesh of Hams no longer has the character of the negativity. And that's what it means for Isa b'shivya eshes sifas Torah. That's the second level that you're going to see in the shivya eshes sifas Torah. When are you going to see the real beauty that's only in this hapch in the transformation? Eshes sifas Torah here neshama l'muveshes l'guf u'chtei lahitzio isa es atzmus u'mahusa haino sechla midishla mehashevi ha'idei gila atzmus kutzlev. And how do you reveal the essence of even the nefesh Bahamas, the essence of the whole full person? You see the efas Torah, the beauty that's in the shivya, in this that you engage in the battle. That only happens when you reveal the essence of the heart, and the essence of the heart now transforms the nefesh Bahamas. Then it's beautiful. All right, we'll stop over here, and again we'll do a chazara at the end, so we can put it all together to just first get all the pieces together. And after that, we could get to understanding the completion and the full picture of the Maamar. Thank you very much for joining, and have a wonderful day. I think I'll do a next class either tomorrow, Monday, or Tuesday.